then have. Too many people start with, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? What do I need to do? I need to do more. I need to do more. Oh, this person said I need to do this. Oh, this person said I need to do this. Oh, this person said I need to do this.
All of the gurus.
Mm-hmm. But if you don't have the be who you are, you're not gonna do it from a place that's gonna serve you.
Yes. And as a lifestyle entrepreneur, I fully endorse this, of course. I mean, I wouldn't feel fulfilled if all I could do was business. I love my business. Do not get me wrong. I love what I do, but not at the expense of my children and my family and my garden.
Right? I agree.
It matters. These things matter. I've been there. You've been there. That feeling when you're really stuck in a rut. You need the money. You want your business to scale. You kind of know what you need to do, but it's just not coming to fruition. Well, let's talk about that. That's why we have Suzanne here today. She's going to tell us a little bit about herself, why this topic matters to her, and why it absolutely matters to you. Suzanne, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Shauna. I'm happy to be here.
I'm so happy to have you. Let the people know a little bit about you, why this topic matters to you, of course, and why it absolutely matters to them.
Ooh, well, what's coming up is, and I don't normally talk about this, but it was August 31st, 2012. And I remember I had been struggling to start my coaching business for a year, maybe even longer. And I had no clients and no money, and I was losing hope. And I turned to my client, and my husband is not my client.
He can't afford you. I'm teasing.
We were in bed, and I said, I don't think I can go on. And he goes, what do you mean? And I said, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I don't even know if I want to be here. Like, it was code for, I don't even know if I want to continue living. And I had to get to that low before I was willing to take an action that was scaring me. And that was reaching out to a previous mentor and saying, hey, remember when you said you were going to help me get clients? What happened? And her response was, oh, I completely forgot about you. Well, I have 4 clients that I'm working with right now. I'm going to give them to you. You work with them. We'll get you some money. And so I'm working with people before they get to that moment, before they get to that desperate despair and thinking, I don't even know which way is up anymore. And I used neuro-linguistic programming, which I learned several years after that low point. I've now been doing this for a decade, this type of coaching, neuro-linguistic programming, hypnosis. I work with positive intelligence. I am going in and recoding people at their unconscious mind, deep in their unconscious mind, so that they can really step into their true identity of who they're really meant to be, how they're really meant to show up in the world, so they can do the actions that they need to do that are congruent with courage, and so that they can go out into the world and have a bigger impact and ideally make more money.
I love that so much. I mean, let's be real. The money is great. We need to survive, right? Like we do, and getting to that 6-figure, 7-figure. I mean, some people who I've been hanging out with are in those 8-figure marks, and I go, oh, mind blown. Love that for them. And all the money in the world will mean nothing if you don't feel the fulfillment of the impact that you're making. So my favorite thing about what you said is that combination of both impact and money. Thank you so much for sharing that journey, because I know too many people who have or are in that space, in that rut, in some capacity, whether they're deep in it or whether you're just starting to think, I might have to close up my shutter, like shutter up. I might have to shutter up and forfeit this dream of mine, which is a really difficult space to sit in. So I want to just, first of all, express my gratitude at you being so vulnerable and open. And then secondly, of course, I'm curious about that reality and how you took yourself from that space of despair into a place where you're an author, where you're sitting here supporting other people to become this millionaire person who they were always meant to be. I mean, that's a huge transition. So
right?
Tell me about that, like that transition. And then, of course, we'll get into how you actually do that with your clients.
It is, you know what? It's interesting looking back. at it. It happened like that. We're talking 13, 14 years now, 13 and a half years. And at the time, if you had said to me, Suzanne, just keep putting one foot in front of the other and doing the next thing and taking the next course and getting the next certification and keep showing up to the networking events and keep attracting the clients, and eventually you'll be a two-time a speaker, a paid speaker, not just a speaker, and a successful multi-six-figure coach, I would have gone, no, it's not possible. But I just kept doing the next thing. So it wasn't until 2015 so I'd had some success. I was running more of a networking group. It was called Pinkpreneurs. And I was running that and hiding my coaching business behind being a networking leader. And finally went, wait a second, I need to step out of hiding, because I was constantly coaching my clients to stop hiding, to be more visible. So I coached basically myself multiple times and went, okay, you start listening to what you're telling your clients.
Mm.
And I ended up sabotaging my business very badly in October of 2014. So remember those clients that I told you that previous mentor had got for me? I ended up working with them for several years. They were paying me well for multiple years, and I was attracting new clients through the networking and referrals. And I imploded and I blew up. I had 3 clients fire me in the month of October. I blew up relationships that I had with centers of influence who knew a lot of people who were referring people to me. I ticked them both off. And all of a sudden I was just gone from a good income a month to nothing. And I went, I got to figure this out again. So again, I got myself into that despair place. And I thought, I've got to stop this cycle. So that's when I learned, I had always been interested in neuro-linguistic programming. And finally, somebody that I went, I want to do this training with her. I liked her. It's part of my criteria for buying something. I need to like the person. So I took the training and I went, this is really helpful. Not for me. This is helpful for the people that my clients. And then as I was going through the training, I was realizing, I'm having a shift here. I'm different, right?
I love that. Oh yeah, this is for me. No, I'm doing this for other people.
It's for everybody else.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. So then I continued to do the training. I got all the certifications. And then they said to me, no longer are you selling $350 a month for coaching services. You need to sell packages for $5,000. So I went from essentially $2,000 for a package to $5,000. And that was too much for my neurology. It was too big of a spread. I didn't believe in myself and that I could offer that value of service and transformation at that point in time. So I stepped it up. And this is what I'll often say to somebody who's looking to increase their price, but their neurology hasn't caught up. I'll say, okay, so increase it by 10%, sell 3 times. Then increase it by another 10%, sell 3 times, then increase it by another, and I it up. And so I did that so I valued at $5,000, but I said, I'm going to charge you $2,500. And I sold it 3 times. And then I increased it to $3,000. And then the nice thing is, it's not what happens is when you're offering the last time, the third person, you'll say, I will never offer it again at this price if you say yes.
I love that so much. Oh my gosh. Yes. For years and years, literally like decades, been saying to people that I repulse the people who ask you to make that leap from this chasm. I really, it bothered me to my core, and I couldn't really figure out why. And so I would always say, don't worry, I will build you a bridge. We'll take it one step at a time.
Yes.
And for me, in my mind, it was always this bridge. And the way you're describing it as this ladder when it comes to sales, because remember, I'm usually talking about your messaging and the way you're showing up in that capacity. But when it comes to sales and the money that's attached to the things that you're offering, a ladder makes perfect sense.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh. And this is perfect. And mindset around that allows you to expand and stretch without breaking.
Right. Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And it's so much easier to just incrementally shift. And that's, you're talking about the chasm. Jeffrey Moore wrote Crossing the Chasm so many years ago. And it's easier to do it in incremental steps rather than to go from like taking the leap. It's difficult to get across Grand Canyon with just one giant leap.
Oh my God. I don't want to imagine. Actually, you know what? We're just going to separate our minds from that image, because that's terrible. That journey. And so now you've created that space. You got into NLP. I'm assuming that opened the door to hypnotherapy and, of course, positive intelligence. And what you thought was for your clients turned out to be a really huge growing space for yourself.
Yeah.
And we turned that around and actually applying it with your clients. Tell me a little bit about that transition when you started to actually apply this with your new clients and your business growth, and I'm assuming your network growth, because of those bridges that had gotten burned?
Exactly. So I realized that it had nothing to do with the other people, and it was me. I was the common denominator who had made decisions that weren't serving others, and my behavior was stopping them from. So it's certainly nothing to do with them. They did nothing wrong, although I was painting them as the villains.
I really want to honor this for a moment because this is huge. Just for anybody who's joined us here for this conversation, that humbling realization, that take you leaps in the right direction. And keep in mind, we're not poo-pooing on ourselves.
No.
We're just taking responsibility and ownership. And even taking ownership of maybe some of the situations is still ownership, leadership, and control over your destiny. So I just wanted to make sure that people understood the gravity of that.
Yeah, and based on the NLP frame, neuro-linguistic programming, key to personal power is when you accept responsibility for your own actions and not make excuses. So you step into you step into choice and results and move away from reasons and excuses. And that's the key to personal power. I didn't realize it took me a long time to be able to go back and look at my behavior in the past and go, oh, it was me, it wasn't them. But at a point in time, I was running victim pretty darn hard.
No, at some point in time, this is just our reality.
And so when I got over myself, and then I started to attract new clients, I kept networking and going out to other people's networking events and running my own for a number of years. I didn't close up Pinkpreneurs until 21, 22. So it ran for almost a decade. And COVID, it was difficult to do events. So I just started to do online. And then I realized I didn't have the passion for it that I did. I love working one-on-one with people. And that's really because I love listening to them, determining how their brain is running a pattern that's not serving them, and then using a technique, even just a conversation, to just have them realize that awareness and then shift it and have them step into a new identity.
Tell me about that identity, because we're not I'm just assuming. I want to make an assumption here, and I want you to totally call me out on my BS.
Yeah.
We're not talking about an identity shift that goes from I can't possibly make a sale to I'm going to make millions. Like we're not talking about that type of leap, are we? Or are we talking about these latter shifts?
It really depends on the person.
Ooh, that's spicy. I like that.
Like, honestly, it's really, Wayne Dyer said it beautifully. You know who I'm talking about, Dr. Wayne Dyer. I absolutely loved him. He's an author, speaker. He's no longer with us. And he said, when you believe it, you'll see it. And so what I'm doing is getting people to believe that they can have the results that they want. So I was just working with a lovely lady today, and we've been working together. I typically work with people for about a year. So we've been working together since May of last year, and it is currently February. So number of months. And we started to talk about money, emotional intelligence. It's one of the things that I talk to people about. Now, this woman is doing really well. And I thought, okay, so I don't think she's really going to have anything. But, I'm just going to see. So I started to ask her questions, and there was something around when other people told her that she was successful, she would have self-worth. And it wasn't so clear. And I said, hang on. So I came at it with quantum questions a few different ways. And what she realized was, oh, I'm waiting for somebody else to tell me I'm successful, and then I'll feel worthy. And then and I said, right. And I said, and so when all we did was bring the pattern up out deep in her unconscious. And it was based on some of the questions that I asked her about, if you had all the money in the world, what would you be doing? And I will tell you, it was everything but her business. That was a red flag to me. It was like, okay.
Ooh,
right.
That's interesting.
So it's the questions that help me to reveal the pattern that's not serving them. So then I said to her, so now what you're going to do is you're going to remind yourself of your success. So you're going to step into, before other people have to tell you that you're successful, you're going to start to create that for yourself. You're going to create that identity for yourself. So you're going to be that identity of successful, because when she feels successful, she'll feel worthy.
I love that. Okay. I know that too. This is just like to tie things in, to get people to think, if this sounds a little bit familiar, it's because there are parts of this puzzle pieces of this that you can find in some really prolific reads, really prolific books, things like Atomic Habits.
Yep.
We've probably heard something around that. Even past conversations that I've had on this very show, and I'll see what I can do about linking them in the comments and stuff, so you can take a look. But things about the difference between having, doing, and being, which is something I know, Suzanne, you know a lot about that as well. It's just like navigating that space with grace.
Yes.
There's value in all of these spaces, but we need to occupy them. I want to say actually, and we need to occupy them with intention. Okay, so let me just rewind. When you believe it, you'll see it. So you create who you are before you let the world tell you who you are, really.
Yes.
Does that sound right?
Yeah, so we decide it first.
Right.
I'm desperately trying. So I have this book, The Millionaire Brain, that we're going to talk about, and I have this great image in the book that talks exactly. Oh, there it is. It's a lot further up than I thought it was going to be. So
everybody lean in, because we need to hold on. Actually, you know what I'm going to do?
Where's the picture? Okay.
Ta-da!
Page 24.
Oh, look at that. Courage,
Okay.
confidence, clarity. Beautiful.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, let me see. I know I have. Okay, here it is. Again, Shauna. So here we go. So this is even more so we have the millionaire brain. And first we have to be the identity, identify what's not serving us so that we can step into the identity of who we really want to be, so that we can be who we are. Then we need to integrate all the parts of us that are not serving us to ignite our potential so that we can do the actions that we want and create the courage that we need to have the impact and income that we want and have all that we want. It starts with first we need to be, then move into do, then have. Too many people start with, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? What do I need to do? I need to do more. I need to do more. You know, oh, this person said I need to do this. Oh, this person said I need to do this. Oh, this person said I need to do this.
All of the gurus.
Mm-hmm. But if you don't have the be who you are, you're not gonna do it from the place that's gonna serve you.
As a lifestyle entrepreneur, I fully endorse this, of course. I mean, I wouldn't feel fulfilled if all I could do was business. I love my business. Do not get me wrong. I love what I do, but not at the expense of my children and my family and my garden.
Right? I agree.
It matters. These things matter. And in fact, I want to just give some perspective into the marketing side of things. The other day, I was speaking to a client of my own, and we were talking about offer stacks and non-negotiables. And they were having a really hard time figuring that out. Like, what's my non-negotiable? I'd like to, these were some words. I want to remain flexible so that I don't seem so rigid and yada, yada. So we had to really dig deep. And this is why a lot of where I'm coming from a branding and marketing space, while it is a lot of doing, as you know, we need to execute. There's a lot of background stuff that SLA marketing confidence holds value in. So we had to talk about how when you say, this is how things are run, this is the offer that suits you best, and these are the parameters within which this offer occupies, that isn't being inflexible. That is owning your leadership, your intelligence, your capacity, your skills. All of those things are held in that, and your authority increases. Your conversion rate will increase because they have more trust in you, because you have trust in you. And you can see where it had to start with the person. And so we talked about what that looked like within their offer stack first, and how when you present it to the people who you're serving, and this is a really important part of marketing and sales, we're doing this from a place of authenticity and alignment. So we're not being, okay, let me make sure that I term this correctly. We're not being rigid, right? We are being leaders.
Mm-hmm.
We are creating structure. And when we present it to the other person, we don't say things that diminish our value. We say things that really put us into that leadership role. It would be doing you a disservice if I didn't include X, Y, Z, or if I allowed X, Y, Z, right? This is why this is structured this way, so that I can give you the best value, the best results possible. And the way you present that allows them to see that you're not rigid, that you're not cold. Your personality shines through, and your dedication to their success. That's a whole different mindset and state of being than, oh, well, you know, we can fudge that up. Oh, wait, it's okay. Who are you when you really think about it? When you're being that person, is that who you are intending to be? These are really important, like that intention behind who you really are and how that ripples into the doing and the subsequent having.
Yes.
With that story, I know I just ran with it because I loved that conversation. This was literally like yesterday. I loved this conversation, and I hope that I articulated it clearly. Let me know if I didn't, and whether I did or not. I'd love to hear your point of view on that as the millionaire activator, as somebody
Yeah.
who actually activate that millionaire brain. Did that work?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Tell me something I can use, friend.
No, that's absolutely it. Yeah.
That makes me so happy. Now, that said, we literally could talk about this all day. I love neuroscience. I love NLP and all of the potential behind positive intelligence and looking into like the nitty-gritty depths of our brains. Like the capacity that you have, all of us, all of you who have joined us for this conversation today, the capacity that you have is exponential. And it excites me to dive in. And we don't have all day. So what I want to do is I really want to invite you, Suzanne, to please share with the people who have joined us today some sort of gold nugget, some sort of action item that will help them today to take action steps in cultivating that millionaire brain. Now, I know that's a big ask to take all that you do and compartmentalize it down to one thing. So I'm going to give you a moment to think about it. And in that time, I'd like to invite everyone here to subscribe, to follow, to comment, to share. Because if you ding that bell right now, you gain early access to every single conversation that we have. And they happen weekly, sometimes more often if I feel super inspired. So I want you to join me. Ding that bell, ask the questions in the comments, share it with someone who really needs to hear this message, because there are too many of us who do need to hear it. All right, I'll get off my soapbox. Suzanne, please tell the people what they need to hear.
The first step to change, we know this, always starts with awareness. So if you could do one new habit every day for the rest of your life, is just pay attention to what you're thinking. Pay attention to your thoughts, monitor it, and make sure that you're always speaking positively to yourself, about yourself. And that is going to change so much that you won't even realize the change until one day in the future you'll be like, oh, I no longer even run that old thought. Like growing up, my mom always said, oh, she was so stupid. What an idiot she was. And we know when we hear it, it's like, you're not. But that thought is often running so subliminally in our thoughts. We need to catch it and change it. So pay attention to your thoughts.
No, I love that so much. I have so many thoughts on that. I'm going to let you, though, please tell everybody what they should be looking for when they scan the QR code and or find the link in the show notes. It'll be the same link. They'll take you to the same place, but the results are pretty profound. So please let people know what they're going to find there.
So come to my website and book a session with me. Let's have a chat. Let's find out what's going on with you. If you're stuck, if there's something I can do to help you with, or if I can just give you one thing, one thought that's going to help you and transform your brain so that you can recode your neurology to create clarity, courage, and confidence.
I love that. Please do us a favor and also show us a close-up of your book. I know we have some in the background here, but I would love to see a close-up so that everyone knows you can actually find this book there as well, and it will literally change the way you're thinking about, well, anything, because it changes the way you think, and it gets you into the space where you can actually believe it and then see it. Thank you, Wayne Dyer, for that.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Now, I do want to add a little 2 cents about catching your thoughts. Because as a late diagnosed ADHD, my thoughts run fast. Oh boy. Sometimes they come out of my mouth before they happen in my brain, I think. So it can be kind of tricky. So I just want to add to that a little strategy that I typically do. And in fact, I post about this. There's a pretty comprehensive kind of funny post that is out there in the world right now. And it's all about how you literally talk to yourself. Don't lie. You do it. You do it. We talk to ourselves, and we're not crazy. What I'm saying is literally talk to yourself like you would your best friend. If you have a hard time thinking in that capacity, talk to yourself like you're 8. What would you say to 8-year-old you? Would you say, oh my God, you're so stupid. Oh, you're so bad at these things. Oh yeah. Would you literally say that? No, not a chance. I know you better than that. We're going, no, let's pause for a minute. You've got this. It's okay. Everyone makes mistakes. Let's find a good solution. I know it sounds funny. I know you feel like Mary Poppins, but it makes a difference, and it changes your neurology and allows you to catch those thoughts that are buzzing around in the background so fast that sometimes it's hard to catch them when you're saying it out loud, because it actually forces you to slow down. So there you have it. This is just me creating a ladder for you as inspired by Suzanne. So thank you so much, Suzanne, again. You're amazing. I'm so grateful to have you on the show. I hope that everyone who's joined us today has a fabulous rest of their day. Chat soon.